Canyonlands National Park is a vast desert wilderness with epic scenery, but it's not at the top of most people's bucket list. If you visit, you'll find gorgeous landmarks, wide open overlooks, and great hikes. But you'll have to navigate a few challenges if you want to experience Canyonlands to its fullest. So in this episode, I'm going to answer these questions, so you can start planning an epic trip to Canyonlands. Canyonlands National Park was established in 1964, and it's Utah's largest national park, but it's also Utah's least visited national park. That's mostly because it's just tough to access. Some areas require four-wheel drive, the southern Utah heat can be unbearable at times, plus a lot of the park is remote and barren, so it takes a little bit of extra preparation. I'll tell you how to deal with all of those challenges. But first, let's look at the basics. The most common question I get about Canyonlands is what's the best time of year to visit? Canyonlands is a desert park, which means the climate is extreme. Summers can be brutally hot with temperatures climbing above 100 degrees. Winters are cold with the chance of snow and icy roads. The sweet spots are spring and fall. Daytime highs are comfortable and nights are cool, which is perfect for camping. And the skies are usually clear if you like to stargaze. Camping reservations and backcountry permits go quickly in the spring and fall, so make sure to reserve a spot well in advance. It's possible to have a good time if you visit in the summer, but you'll need to get up early so you can be off the trails during the hottest hours of the day. Dehydration and heat exhaustion are real concerns, and there isn't a lot of shade. If summer is your only option, stick to shorter hikes and schedule activities closer to sunrise and sunset, when temperatures are cooler. The next question I get is where is the best place to stay? And to understand the answer, you'll need to know how Canyonlands is laid out. Canyonlands has three districts: the Island in the Sky District, the Needles District, and the Maze. We'll get back to these districts in a bit, but right now you should just know that these districts are very spread out, and there aren't any roads or bridges connecting the districts inside the park, so it's a long drive to get from district to district. For instance, if you want to drive from the Needles Visitor Center to the Island in the Sky Visitor Center, it'll take you more than 2 hours on a good day, and the maze is even worse. This means you won't be able to see the entire park in a single day. The maze is the western district of Canyonlands, and most people don't have any business going there. It's remote, barren, and relatively inaccessible to most people, so I won't deal with it here. The Needles District is the southernmost district, and it's named for its sandstone spires. If you're visiting Needles, you can stay in the park at the Needles Campground, or just outside the park at the Needles Outpost. Both of these options are relatively primitive, with limited water access and no electricity. The closest lodging is in Monticello, which is an hour from Needles. This little town has lodges, RV parks, and hotels, and it's the best option if you're focusing on Needles. But when most people visit Canyonlands, they focus on the Island in the Sky District. When it comes to this district, the best lodging is in Moab. You'll find hotels and RV parks. But there are a couple primitive options closer to the park. The park is surrounded by BLM land, so dispersed camping is always an option. Dead Horse Point State Park has a couple campgrounds that can accommodate tents and RVs, and the Island in the Sky District has a first-come, first-served campground. Just be warned, Dead Horse Point and Island in the Sky have water restrictions, which can add challenges to your stay. Next, most people want to know how long they should stay when they visit, and this really depends on what you want to see. You can spend a lifetime exploring this park, but most people don't want to do that. I'll let you know which landmarks to see in a minute, but most people can explore Island in the Sky pretty well in a single day. And most people can explore Needles in a day. If you're not a hiker, you can take a half day and explore Needles. Hikers will need a little more time. Of course, if you add backcountry roads like the White Rim or Elephant Hill into the mix, you'll need at least another day for each road. Naturally, the next question people have is how should I prepare? This is a question that you have to take seriously. In 2024, a father and his daughter got turned around while they were on trail. They ran out of water and got lost. Then the temperatures soared into the triple digits. They got a couple emergency techs out to call for help, but they passed away before rangers arrived. Canyonlands is no joke, and you need to be prepared, especially if you're stepping on trail. You should always have a good supply of water with you when you visit any national park, but this is extra important in Canyonlands. Canyonlands National Park covers 337,000 acres, but you'll only find 3 places to get potable water: the Island in the Sky Visitor Center, the Needles Visitor Center, and the Needles Campground. And the Needles Campground is seasonal. This, along with the southern Utah heat, can create issues real quick, so you need to be prepared. Of course, if you're hiking, make sure to prepare properly with sun protection, proper footwear, navigation tools, and water. The park doesn't have any place to get food. The visitor centers have a small selection of snacks, but it's best to bring your own supply. Also, if you're visiting the Needles District, you can stop at the Needles Outpost to get a few items, but the prices are much higher than what you'd find back in town. All of Canyonlands districts are remote, so fill up on fuel before you head into the park, because there is no place to get gas. Needles Outpost is the only exception. But again, you'll be paying a high price, at more than double the going rate. Like most national parks, pets are not welcome on trails or in the backcountry. If you get a permit for a backcountry road, the park doesn't even want pets in the vehicle. So if you bring a pet, it's going to limit what you can do. There are a couple places where you might have cell service in the Island in the Sky district, but don't count on it. And Needles, I don't think I had a bar of service the whole time I was there, and I counted that as a plus. Finally, once preparations are made, people always ask what they should see, so here are a few of my favorite stops in Canyonlands. But I also created a full Canyonlands travel guide with in-depth walkthroughs for Island in the Sky and Needles. This guide is published quality and it includes detailed itineraries. You can find it linked below this video. These stops are in no particular order, but all of them are great additions to any itinerary. The first stop is probably the most well-known landmark in the park, and it's Mesa Arch. This arch is gorgeous. You will have to hike a little over 1/4 of a mile to reach the arch, but it's worth it. The LaSalle Mountains, the White Rim Road, and Washerwoman Arch create a beautiful backdrop that has become iconic. Mesa Arch is in the best light at sunrise, but you'll have to get to the arch at least 30 minutes before sunrise to get a good spot. The next stop is a moderate hike that ends at Murphy Point. The trail itself is pretty easy. It's a 3.5 mile out and back hike, but it has less than 200 feet of elevation gain. So it's pretty easy, and the final view is amazing. You'll have to scramble around on a few rocks to get this particular view, but it was worth the effort, and nobody was even at the overlook. We had it to ourselves, which was a welcome surprise. Another well-known stop is the Schaefer Trail. This is a rocky dirt road that leads down Schaefer Canyon. The trail was originally used to move livestock herds, but it's been widened so cars can use it. It's still pretty narrow, so you'll want to take your time, but it's one of the best drives in the park, and it only takes an hour or two depending on how many times you stop. Staying on that theme, when you get to the end of the Schaefer Trail, you'll have the option of driving the White Rim Road. The White Rim Road circles the Island in the Sky Mesa, while it passes gorgeous scenery like Musselman Arch and Candlestick Tower. There are even a few trails sprinkled along the road. You'll need a permit and a high-clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle for this one. Also, some of the 4x4 areas were a little sketchy, so prior off-roading experience is a plus. Moving to the Needles District, Druid Arch and Chesler Park have some of the best scenery in Canyonlands. Both of these trails start at the Elephant Hill Trailhead. Unfortunately, each landmark requires a 10-mile hike, so you'll want to pace yourself. Still, the Chesler Park Trail lets you walk next to the Needles, and Druid Arch is truly massive. In my opinion, these are the best hikes in the park. My favorite overlook in Canyonlands is the Green River Overlook, and this is in the Island in the Sky District. This is the best place to watch a sunset in the entire park. There's a developed overlook with nice enough views, but you can also hike to a set of cliffs on the west side of the overlook. This area has even better views, with buttes, canyons, and the Green River in the distance.